let's just take a picture of the crowd here.
Sure, I've been doing that a little bit all along. I will continue to.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you. It's a good day.
You want to make,
Yeah, I think so.
What?
you want to make a comment for our
A comment? What do you want me to say? I think this is an awesome decision, and I'm so happy that the Iowa Supreme Court ruled in our favor, and it's a beautiful opinion, and everybody should read it. And there you go.
Thank you. And you are a law student here at the university, right?
Yes, I am. My name is Judith, and I'm a 3L at the University of Iowa College of Law. Yep.
And we're just truly happy to be here and be in support and celebration of the decision that they made. It's awesome.
So you stand up for fairness, equality, and a strict interpretation of our Constitution.
Yes, definitely.
Nice hat. It's a wonderful day, isn't it?
It's a great day to be
Got
in
a
Iowa.
microphone in hand.
Okay, you ever met our friend Lynn?
I don't think so.
Lynn Gallagher?
Nice to meet you.
Okay, now I'm going to make a program for my TV show.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
And we want to talk about why we're here this afternoon.
Why we're here? Well, I just wanted to celebrate. I think it's wonderful to have equal rights in this area. It's about time.
Same reason, just to celebrate and to be with gay brothers and sisters and also our allies, and to just celebrate, especially with those people who are already families, and they can now have that validated. It's a great day in Iowa.
It is a great day in Iowa, so I'm with them. It's great to have the equal rights, not special rights, equal rights. And being a mother, I have 2 kids. They're grown now, but to know that other families that went through the struggles I did will be able to have some protection, some rights. So, excellent.
So, is there any wedding in the future here?
What was that?
Any wedding in the future?
In the future, but not right now. So,
Someday.
yeah.
And we all pay our taxes, right? We all pay taxes, and we're all citizens, and now we're equal.
Now we're equal.
Except now we need to get federal rights.
Right.
Because there are a lot of rights you don't get when you can get married in the state. We need to do this at the federal level. That's the next thing. Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Oh, how are you?
Fine. May I interview you? Don't go away. Don't go away. Okay.
Oh, no, I'm just happy to be here. It's been a great day and a long time coming. So I'm glad it's in Iowa.
So we presume all of the people out here are paying taxes, and today they're equal citizens.
That's true. We're getting more equal all the time. So you're welcome.
How are we doing?
Excellently. Everything looks beautiful. Make sure when you ask your question that you put it by your mouth. And I I switched out the mics. This one is more sensitive, so you can just hold it wherever is comfortable. You just don't have to with the other one. You can just hold it however is comfortable.
Like this?
Yeah, or if you want to hold it closer to your body, it all works. But I'm just saying, with the last one, you had to hold it like this. With this one, you can just hold it wherever.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it sounded great, Elsie.
Okay. Okay. I'm from the Senior Center Television Group, and I'm from the Senior Center Television Group, and I'm down here to get some comments about the celebration going on. Would you?
Well, I think we're all pretty excited. They're excited to be on TV, I can tell. But I think everybody's pretty worked up right now, pretty excited about everything. So, big surprise. Good surprises today all over.
So about half of the people I run into are gay and lesbian folk, and the other half are parents and other straight allies. They're all down here.
Isn't that great that there is, it's not just people that it directly affects that are here to celebrate it. I think it's nice to see that it's not just the gay and lesbian people that care about it anymore. So.
And it does directly affect the parents.
Oh, yeah. I think a lot of parents will be excited to be able to see their kids actually get married, if it's something that they've been looking forward to for a long time.
Hello, everybody. If you'd like
You should get some comments from this guy right here. You really should.
it's available now.
No, I'm good, thank you. I don't speak well.
Oh, you do too.
If you want, at the end, hi honey, if you want at the end, I'll introduce you to the speakers so you can interview the speakers if you want.
That'd be great.
Okay, yeah? Probably not right now because it's about to start.
Hello and welcome to another session of Neighbors and Friends. We're going to talk about some civil rights cases today, and I want to ask you to use your imagination. The 90% of you out there who are heterosexual, just imagine that when the husband and wife leave their home for just a trip across town even, or across the state to visit relatives, or out of state for business, you had to carry a whole briefcase full of notes with you to prove that you were spouses, to prove that you had the right to make decisions for your husband or your wife if that person should become disabled because of accident, a bad reaction to medication, a heart attack, a stroke, for whatever reason. Just imagine your husband or your wife is incapacitated. You want to go to the ER with him or her. No, you can't go. Just only relatives can go, blood relatives or legal relatives. And since that particular place doesn't recognize your partnership, your marriage, you can't make decisions for each other if the other is incapacitated. I don't know how you'd feel, but I think you'd be angry. If put yourself in the place then of a loving gay couple or a loving lesbian couple. They want to be together, but a simple marriage license doesn't do it. They need that briefcase full of document after document after document. My favorite columnist, Deb Price, I invite you to Google her site. But she tells a story here. A decade after falling in love, Massachusetts State Trooper Mary Ritchie and Kathy Bush became parents. When Ryan was born, Bush postponed her career to be a stay-at-home mom. Not long afterward, Ryan was joined by brother William. Now, isn't that what we want? Family values, a stay-at-home mom? Ah, how oddly normal they are. Well, anyway, in 2004, the moms were among the first same-sex couples to marry in Massachusetts, which treats all married couples equally under state law. But as a new, first-of-its-kind lawsuit spotlights, the federal government picks and chooses which Massachusetts marriages to honor. The Massachusetts lawsuit, filed by 8 same-sex couples and 3 widowers, asked the federal government, the federal court, to declare unconstitutional the part of a 1996 federal law that says only heterosexual spouses are recognized by Uncle Sam for any of the 1,138 federal benefits linked to marital status. That huge list includes receiving larger Social Security benefits based on a higher income earning spouse's income, filing taxes jointly, not having employer-provided spousal health care taxed as income, and health and pension benefits for spouses of federal workers. It also denies any federal care for the children if these people die. The challenge to the misnamed Defense of Marriage Act doesn't seek to require other states to recognize same-sex marriages, only to stop the federal government from discriminating against ones legally recognized in such states as Massachusetts, Connecticut, and New York. The other faces behind the lawsuit include a 78-year-old who lost his spouse after 60 years of togetherness. At a March 3 press conference in Boston, the couples and widowers detailed financial hardships they've suffered because of the federal government's refusal to acknowledge the reality that they are legally wed. Ritchie and Bush, for example, can't file federal income taxes jointly, meaning they overpaid their taxes, as they aptly put it, by $14,000 in just 4 years of marriage. The money could really help with monthly household expenses, paying down our mortgage, and putting away money for our son's college education, Ritchie said. She also pointed out that if she were killed in the line of duty, her spouse would be denied the federal $290,000 death benefit, as well as the federal $850 a month educational benefit that ordinarily goes to the families of slain law enforcement officers. Perhaps the most poignant story was told by Herbert Burtis, who lost the man he fell in love with in 1948, lost him to Parkinson's disease. After more than a half century together, there was a hole in my life that would never be filled, said Burtis, who recounted creating a one-bedroom nursing home to care for his deteriorating husband. But it was at this time that I discovered that after having paid Social Security taxes all of our lives, I would not receive either his death benefit or his Social Security benefit, which was considerably higher than mine, Burtis said, adding the $700 a month difference in his Social Security check could pay medical bills not covered by Medicare. The federal government has no business picking and choosing among state-recognized marriages. If Congress won't reverse itself, the courts should stop it.
Okay. Elsie, this is Eric.
Dallas told me a lot about you and your work. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
It's okay, I can hold on to this unless you're going to interview somebody else.
I was just going to ask you.
All right.
Oh, my. Okay.
Okay. We're here speaking with Eric. Some comments from you, please.
Well, I'm just thrilled to see so many people here. It's great to see so many people, you know, both in support of this equality and everything else, as well as, you know, the event itself, what we're celebrating is just really great. And I'm just glad it's a nice day, beautiful day that we can really celebrate.
So now we are fully citizens, right?
That's right. That's right. And I just hope it, you know, starts here and continues many other places. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not the right. By the mayor? Yeah, do it. Hi. Gorgeous crowd. Now, like one of your faces looking at me instead of each other. I like your jacket. You want to say hi? Coralville. Yep. That's our mayor there. You know that.
There?
This one right here. That's Regina Bailey.
Oh, yeah. I thought
Well, days like this, it makes it. Yeah, this is a good thing.
Well, there's a lot of people here at the Pentecrest, and we're standing with our Iowa City mayor.
Yes, hi. Hi, glad to be here.
And this has something to do with civil rights.
It has a lot to do with civil rights, doesn't it? It's a great day for equality in Iowa, isn't it?
You mean all of these gays and lesbians who have been paying taxes on a federal level, and the state level, and the county and the city, you mean now they're fully a citizen?
Well, it seems like they have the opportunities of other citizens, so absolutely. I mean, that you could say it that way, couldn't you?
Thank you. We're all down here celebrating.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to be interviewed here for a local TV show at the Senior Center?
Sure. Yes. What's the question?
The question is, how does it feel to be a full citizen?
Well, it's wonderful. Again, I have a teenage daughter that's came out a few years ago, and again, this is extremely important to our family and to her, and all you ever want is for your children to be happy. And again, I know this is kind of an extremely important day for her, and so again, we're real pleased with the state of Iowa that again, they stepped up to the plate, and this was accepted by the Supreme Court. So thank you very much.
I woke up at 16. I was like, oh God, stop. And I woke up at 6:30 in the morning, so like, it wasn't even decided yet. They're like, like, stop blowing me up. I didn't
Okay. So, could we have a word or two from you people about the importance?
Yeah. I'm sorry, what was the question?
The importance of the celebration here?
I think the importance of celebration, this is a very big day for us, but we have a lot more ahead of us, and so we need to really gather the troops now, get our excitement up, but also realize that we need to stick together. We need to take this energy, this atmosphere, and keep this cohesiveness together for the fight that's yet to come.
I totally agree. We just need to keep fighting. The battle's not over. This is only one small step because there's only 3 states now with this, so possibly Fort Vermont coming up here. But we just need to keep fighting, stay strong, bring everyone together, send the message out that, don't quit fighting. This is only one small step. We're going to be fighting for a long time, so.
Would you tell us something about the day? Your comment.
I'm very excited about the day. I celebrated the day by coming out to my parents. I called them in California and told them that I was queer, and it went way better than I expected. So it's funny how something like this can give you the courage to do the things that you've been maybe a little bit fearing doing. So yeah, it's a very exciting day. Thank you. It's fun that you guys are out here. Are you getting lots of good interviews?
Yeah, we've got lots of good interviews of both lesbians and gay men and
excellent. Oh, great.
A local class.
Yeah. Did you talk to Bruce?
No.
There's a clergyman named Bruce. He's kind of a tall guy with a shaved head, and he's got like a black fleece on. Maybe I'll get a chance to talk with him. He's a pretty cool guy. Thank you, Elsie.
We'll look for him.
This is a free gay marriage cookie.
Oh.
Yes, it's a good day.
It's a good day, right? It is.
Cover my mouth while I chew.
So we noticed your banner here and your ribbon.
I didn't make the sign, but it is my banner and my ribbon. And I'm gonna wear the ribbon tonight at work when I serve. Show everybody what a good day this is today. This is a beautiful day. It's good to see everybody here.
Welcome to another episode of Neighbors and Friends. We have with us today a very normal American family, 2 loving parents, and 2 kids and a dog. What could be more normal than that? Here we have Lois Gray and her partner, Karen. I forgot the last.
Gray also.
Yeah,
all
Karen
Gray.
Gray also. Okay, very, very normal. Got the same last name. And
Jessie Gray.
Jessie and Lauren. And the name of your little friend?
Snickers.
Snooky?
Snickers.
And Oreo?
Snickers, yeah.
Snickers and Oreo.
Snickers, Oreo, Gray.
All right.
Sorry, he's Gray.
So tell us where you're both from, perhaps, and where you were when you met.
Sure, we're both Iowa natives. I'm from New Hampton, Iowa.
And I'm from Lake City.
Yeah. And we both grew up on farms, so from very big, loving, traditional farm families that are like 3 generations at least, I think, on my side, and probably yours as well, right?
Yeah.
So we have deep roots in the state of Iowa, and met at Grandview College in Des Moines when we were both students there, so that's where we first met.
And what were you studying there at Grandview?
Nursing.
Nursing.
Mm-hmm. And I was studying journalism.
Okay. And do you want to tell our listeners how you met?
Sure. We ironically were roommates. and met when I was a freshman, and Karen would have been a sophomore because she's a year older. I love to remind her of that now. And I had just returned from a study abroad experience in Colombia, South America, and so I think the first time she met me, she later told me she thought I was really strange because it was August and it was really hot and humid in Iowa, and I was wearing this sweater because I'd been living in Cali, Colombia, South America, and was right next to the equator, so it was intensely hot. So I don't know if I was having like reverse culture shock but anyway, so that was one of the first times she met me, and but we became very good friends. What was your memory of that?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd use the word strange. I would say more unusual.
But you coming back to North America from Colombia, you probably thought you needed a sweater.
I did. It was a relative thing. Apparently, I thought it felt colder in Iowa than it must have been next to the equator.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was one of the first times we met, and it was like my first week of college.
And I needed a roommate, and your roommate was leaving?
Yeah, because for the
dorm?
first semester, I think I had another roommate, and then she was leaving, and your roommate was also, I think, leaving.
Mm-hmm.
And so we had met and just knew we really enjoyed each other's company and had a lot in common, even though our personalities were a lot different. I think I was a lot more outgoing, and you were much quieter. But I think it's that opposites attract sort of thing.
And so where have you lived since Grandview College?
We lived Karen lived for a year in Colorado.
7 months.
7 months. And after she had finished her degree, you joined the Army Nurse Corps.
Mm-hmm.
And I was continuing my studies at Grandview. And so then she found out that you were assigned to...
Well, I was transferred. Mm-hmm.
Right, to Fort Leonard Wood,
Mm-hmm.
Missouri. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we ended up living for 2 years outside of college, was in South Central Missouri. But I should say we were very, very good friends. I mean, I think most successful relationships in life are built on a really firm foundation of friendship. So we were really good friends, I think, for at least several years before we really recognized that there was something deeper there.
Okay. You mean to tell me that you served in the nation's military?
Yes, I was in the Army Nurse Corps.
You're one of the thousands and thousands who served somewhat under duress. I mean,
I was under the what is it? Don't ask, don't tell policy.
Right.
I didn't ask and I didn't tell.
Right. But there's thousands and thousands like you who serve our country. And then you're probably glad you were had served your life.
Well, no one really seemed concerned or asked any questions. And in fact, Lois even moved with me to Missouri, and no questions were asked. So.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a challenging time in some ways because this was in the late 1980s, and there just weren't as many visible role models of gays and lesbians in popular culture and television, and it was before the World Wide Web, before the internet was really existing in a way that was available to the masses. And so I think, like Karen said, it worked out fine for us, but there was always kind of this ubiquitous fear. What if someone did find out, and what would the repercussions be? And that was very early in our relationship. So
of course, we were much younger, so you don't worry about such things.
Oh, that's true. You're invincible then, so you don't think about those things.
Okay.
You worry more about your job and
right.
that kind of thing. So.
And that's what the public needs is citizens who will do their job. And we're in all sorts of professions and businesses. Karen, would you tell us what you're doing here in Iowa City?
I work as a nurse at the hospital. I work in the neonatal intensive care unit, so I work with the sick infants.
It's a touch-and-go situation lots of times with those kids.
Yeah, it is often. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's, again, continued service. And Lois, what are you doing in Iowa City?
I work in University News Services and University Relations at the University of Iowa. So it's kind of using my journalism and media relations background. And I'm really fortunate to work with the College of Education and international programs as kind of two of my major beat areas that I help with, which kind of combines two of my loves and passions is, the importance of education, whether it's like with our own daughters now that they're in K through 12, or even with both Karen and I who, continued our education at different points in our lives. And so, we're just very fortunate to live in a community that so values education, where there's opportunities available.
And both girls are in school.
Yes, they both go to Kate Wickham Elementary in Coralville. You guys want to tell her about that?
Just say what grade you're in.
I'm in 5th grade, 6th grade.
Okay. And you are a family.
Yes.
And they are natural birth children for you.
Yes, they are. We were very fortunate because we always knew we both loved children. And I think, again, there weren't as many role models when we were first, when our relationship first began, when we made kind of a lifetime commitment to one another and knew that we were in love and it was a forever sort of thing. But again, there weren't as many role models on television and popular culture, so we kind of felt like we had to be pioneers in a sense, even though there were others before us, certainly, who paved the way. But we were very fortunate because when we came to Iowa City, there's a much more vibrant and visible gay and lesbian, bisexual, transgender community here. And so I think, Karen, you were more interested initially. I loved kids, but I was kind of content at that point with having nieces and nephews. And Karen working in pediatrics and just loves children as well. And at some point we decided we definitely, very early on knew we wanted to be mothers and to pursue that opportunity. So.
Well, there was a radio program, and they were talking to a mom who was also a lesbian, and she and her partner had a child through natural birth together. And so that's when we kind of first became aware that it was a possibility. So it was kind of another media outlet that we actually got our information from. So that was very helpful to us.
Right.
I don't remember what kind of a program it was, though.
It was on Iowa Public Radio, and I want to say it was Gay Triangle, but that might not have been the actual name. But it was an actual radio program devoted to issues for gays and lesbians. And so that was, a critical kind of breakthrough for us because we thought, here's a local lesbian couple who, and it had been probably in the late 1980s or early 90s because we moved to Iowa City from Missouri in, I think it was 1989 or 1990, but somewhere in that time period. And so that was really an exciting kind of milestone for us to recognize that it is possible, there are resources, and in fact there's a local couple that we can, which we immediately called them, got contact information, and said, can we please get together and talk to you more about how you did this and how we might pursue parenthood as well.
Right. And I know these questions are somewhat intrusive, but the general public is so curious about that.
Right. And there's a lot more, I think, options available now because in the case of the couple that we met with at that time, I believe they were working through a sperm bank, if I recall correctly. Does that sound?
I don't think so.
Oh. See, our memories differ. What do you remember?
I think it was through a live donation program.
Okay. Right. So we found out there was a doctor in a Cedar Rapids clinic who was willing to inseminate single women regardless of their sexual orientation. So through this couple, we were put in touch with that physician. Right. And we initially worked through a sperm bank, that we, you get information, you can look and see all sorts of information about potential donors based on their health, their IQ, their interests, their profession, and essentially kind of hand select a donor to create a family.
According to the statistics at the time, that only a 10% success rate, supposedly, which is pretty low.
Pretty low, yeah.
Yeah, that is. So it's a service, a medical procedure available to heterosexual women, and there's no reason for the doctors to deny it to a same-gender couple.
Right. And it's not so much that as if you're single, the state apparently, I don't know if that's still the case, but then they become the paternal responsible party in some fashion. So if you had a male who was willing to claim paternal responsibility, that would also be okay. If you were single, that was the issue. It was
even more so
right.
than your orientation.
And since this was prior to our wonderful Iowa Supreme Court decision,
right, right.
Obviously, we're not married in the
Right.
eyes of the law.
Right.
Sure.
Right.
And it was a very long endeavor for us because we tried. Karen was the first. We're in the unique situation as a couple where two people could potentially carry the child, which typically a man and woman obviously don't have that option. So we had a discussion, and it was kind of a no-brainer at that time that Karen had a very strong desire to physically carry a child, and I did not. And so I was thrilled that she was willing to be the person to pursue that at that time. And so we tried for like a year and a half.
A year, I think.
A year, right. And at that point, it was not successful. And so you were taking a fertility drug. I mean, so we went to great lengths, I think, just like many couples who have a very strong desire to be parents. And so you took a fertility drug for a period of time that also was not successful, but that could increase your chances for ovarian cancer. Am I remembering this correctly?
No, I think it was just, well, maybe. It
Yeah.
might have been.
And then
possible. But I'm not sure on that, so.
Yeah. And then we actually tried giving her shots as well of a drug called Pergonal, which is also a fertility drug that's supposed to enhance your chances of becoming pregnant.
You release more eggs, I think, is what happens, which would increase your odds
of becoming pregnant. And that also was not successful. So we were very persistent and tried very hard to create our family.
Right. But then you were successful.
Yes, we were. We finally decided that this was not working, but that we were still really committed to being parents for our beautiful daughters. And so we were very, very fortunate to have a friend who was willing to be a donor, though not a known donor. And so, it was really important for us that, there was intelligence and integrity and compassion. And we were very lucky that that was the case. And so that individual, provided a donation, if you will, and we were very fortunate. That was a successful route. And we were able, Karen, of course, got pregnant, and Jessie was born on Groundhog's Day. We love to joke and say she was born on the most famous holiday in February. And, of course, everyone says, on, Valentine's Day. And we're like, no, Groundhogs. But, and the minute I saw Jessie be born, I just knew I had to have that experience because it was so profound and wonderful. So 6 months later, we tried, and I was immediately successful and actually gave birth to Lauren, of course, 9 months later on Karen's birthday. So it was my birthday gift to Karen.
Yep, she delivered about half an hour past midnight on my birthday, a week late. So
Yeah.
I think it's not an easy thing to do, I don't think.
I planned it.
Yeah,
No.
that's right.
But I remember saying to her, I'm really sorry I didn't get you a present. Does this count? And you said, yeah, it does. It was about the best gift.
So that was your birthday present.
Yes, she was my birthday present.
Was our second beautiful daughter. So
And she still is every year.
Your best gift, yes. So yeah, we were very blessed to have, two beautiful, healthy children. And I'll remember that when you guys are teenagers.
So they're not only legal siblings, but they're also biological siblings, which is kind of nice to have that connection.
That is nice. It's you girls must get a lot of questions about your family. And I appreciate, on behalf of the viewing audience, your willingness to talk about this, because people are so curious.
Yeah, it's a question.
It's something that I try to get across every program I make, that we are surprisingly normal.
Right.
We like we like families. We like to be part of a family, and we like to have a strong relationship. And I can obviously see that you do. I'm happy for you because you have this year available to you a legal marriage.
Right.
And I'm so proud. I'm a native Iowan, too, and I'm so proud that our Iowa Supreme Court unanimously decided and wrote such a carefully worded ruling that the people who complain on religious grounds, as I see it, don't have a leg to stand on, because the court clearly said your marriage certificate is a civil right.
Right.
And it's up to clergy people to decide if they want to celebrate that at a wedding with you,
Right.
or you just celebrate it yourself with your family
Right.
and your friends, your coworkers, and other people that want anyone who knows you happy for you.
Right.
So I try to always make it clear that there is a distinct difference
Right.
between the legal document from the courthouse and the religious ceremony that we call a wedding.
Right.
I think that the two are confused with the general public, as
Right.
they associate them so closely together. But I guess what they're not understanding is that some of the legal rights that we gain are the ability to legally visit our significant other partner when they're in the hospital, which we currently do not have the right to do, and also the legal right to inherit property without being paying heavy taxes, which we currently would have to do if our spouse died. We've been together for 23 years, but yet if she died, I would pay taxes on the things that would be considered part of her property. Whereas with the civil right of marriage, I can inherit her property as a spouse. So there are a lot of rights that we don't have that a married couple would have. I mean, even married one day would have, in 23 years, would give us no recognition as having any connection to each other. So I think that's pretty concerning, and I don't think that has anything to do with religion, unless religion would look at that, visiting someone you've had a relationship with for 23 years is not significant, but I don't think that should be the case.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of rights. I took some time to do some internet research, and there's quite a list of rights that we currently would not have without being able to get married. So.
And we were both, I'm not sure if I can speak for you too, I'm sure that we felt almost in a state of happy shock, because it was something that I don't know if we really thought we would see in our lifetime. And we're both in our, I like to say, early 40s. I'm rounding down. But, we really thought this is incredibly historic, and I just cannot fathom, similar to when Barack Obama was elected as our first black president. And I remember seeing, a lot of interviews where many black Americans remembered, pre-civil right days. They could not believe they were seeing this moment in history, and it just really did feel like, particularly for Iowa, but I think the nation as well, this watershed moment, because the state talks so much about the concern of brain drain and having young people and families move out of the state as our population continues to age. And we made a very conscious decision to stay in Iowa, even though there's the allure of San Francisco and Vermont and these different areas that may seem much more, and are maybe in some ways much more liberal or progressive, or at least have much more visible diversity. But we're just so proud of our state, because we know there's a lot of compassionate people who live here with common sense. And we love living here because our families, their grandparents and cousins live here. Like I said, we kind of have deep roots to our farm families. And it would be hard to move away, because we do love the state, and we want our children to have that quality of life. And they love their cousins and get along with them most of the time, right?
So I guess you could say it's yet another more evidence of our family focus. We are very family-focused people.
Right. that's something I want the general public to understand, that those of us who are distant from our parents and our siblings, if we are distant, it's because we've been pushed out,
Right.
or in some cases, thrown out of the home. And family means as much to us as it does to anybody.
Right.
Right.
It's very important, and I think we are fortunate, for the most part. There are periods of growth and acceptance where sometimes it's initially a shock to family, or there might have been some initial rejection or some challenges, but I think over time we've really cultivated close relationships with the vast majority of our family members, and Jesse and Lauren are really fortunate to have those connections, because I think, and then we have there's chosen family too. There are people who are like family.
Yes.
It's not necessarily the blood ties, but it's people who love and care about you. And so, like you were saying, especially for some of our gay and lesbian friends who may have had outright rejection or alienation, chosen family is really important, whether it's church, friends, your neighborhood. But I think that philosophy of it takes a village to raise children is really true. And they have a lot of people who love and care about them. And we feel really blessed to have that in our lives. What is Snickers doing?
I think he's getting hot in the lights.
Oh, is
With
it
a sweater on.
hyperventilating?
Yeah.
I should take a sweater
I was
off.
surprised to be paid for being a well-dressed dog.
Yeah.
The rights we don't have, though, would be the federal marriage rights, and there are a lot more that we're not eligible for,
Right.
including Social Security.
Right.
Right.
Which is an important thing.
It is.
Over 1,000 federal rights.
Exactly.
And
Well, it's exciting because I think there's a hope that maybe it's like kind of dominoes falling, that maybe we can continue this wonderfully progressive movement, and maybe other states, or maybe eventually federally, this will be looked at also in our lifetime. I mean,
Right.
now it's good to have that dream or that hope.
Well, there's a new ad that's going to be coming out that
Mhm.
is playing on people's fear that this is going to become a religious concern. So I think that's it's concerning that that's happening, and it just sometimes it's hard to believe that people will buy into that, but I think they do.
Well, and what's so tragic about that ad, it's plain outright lies.
Right.
People come on the air, not even real. I mean, the group that made that ad
Mhm.
hired actors to make that ad, and they come
Right.
on there and say, "Oh, I'm going to be forced in my church. I'm not going to be permitted to worship like I want to. I'm going to be
Right.
forced." Those judges were smart.
Right.
They said this has nothing to do with what a church does or doesn't do.
Right.
No church is forced. Now, some churches are waking up,
Right.
and they actually do give a service, a ceremony, a celebration
Right.
to
Very
a gay
affirming.
couple or a lesbian couple. And I interviewed the congregational pastor,
Yeah.
and he said, well, yes, they had a wedding
Mhm.
here a year or so ago before he took this position in Iowa City.
Right.
And he said, I've had a couple ask me if I could help them plan their wedding.
Oh, wow.
And the rabbi said, well, our gay and lesbian members are just members of the
Right.
congregation. And there are many, many pastors who want to provide those celebrations and those ceremonies we typically call a wedding.
Right.
And so it's a wonderful day in Iowa.
It is. We're still in that happy mode of celebration. And I think a lot of, oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
A lot of our friends and different people have asked, are we going to have a wedding? And I think for us, again, like Karen mentioned, we've been in a committed, loving relationship for 23 years. And in some ways for us, it's more like an anniversary celebration. But it is a critical affirmation of the legal rights, because we feel like we've already have that that connection. But the one thing that was missing was the legal connection, and this is definitely a huge step in that direction. So I think we might just have a much, we're obviously going to the courthouse, and we'll get our license and have that component of it done. But I think we also would like to have some sort of celebration this summer, just something more informal, not necessarily with exchanging of vows. And that's very important for some people, and so we're so happy they have the opportunity to do that. But I think for us, it'll be much more low-key.
It'd be more like an anniversary celebration.
Yeah, and kind of a recommitment ceremony, if you will, just kind of affirming our lifelong commitment to
And
each
having
other.
the opportunity to do that as not breaking anybody's law.
Right, right. So we are very excited to pursue that. And I think, how do you guys feel about that?
Well, it feels like you're already married, so it really doesn't matter that much because
Mhm.
it already feels like you're married.
Yeah.
Right. Well, out of the mouth of a youth. Wonderful truth.
Yeah.
We want to thank you for coming on and sharing such an intimate part of your life and helping the general public to understand. We have here 2 loving parents, 2 happy kids, and a typical family dog. We'll be back with other guests in the future. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to another spring announcement. We have with us Andrew from Connections and the Gay Pride Committee.
I'm glad to be here, Elsie.
And what are the events?
This time around? Well, this year we have the ever elusive. What? I'm sorry.
It's okay,
What?
we gotta take
okay.
this year. Really, editing is like amazing. So.
This year we have the Rainbow Run, which is a very exciting run around in Lower City Park, where we have our gay friends and our allies come and run a little race. It's not really that competitive, but it still feels good if you win. And that's May 23rd at 8 a.m. in the Lower City Park, and you can go online and register at www.queerconnections.org. We also have a film at the Senior Center that you know a little bit about.
Well, the staff here has wanted to be involved in Pride, and they have gotten a film about gay and lesbian couples in some of their retirement years, you might say, and they're very happy to be with the group.
Yeah, and that's, I believe, on a Thursday evening, right? May 28th at the Iowa City Senior Center, and I'm pretty sure it's free, so
yes,
come on down to see that as well. Let's see, we also have our big kickoff event to the parade and rally, the Friday night patio party, and that's Friday, June 19th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m., and that's going to be a hoot because we plan on giving a lot of the proceeds to one major Iowa City, Cedar Rapids type. What's the thing you donate to? Charity. I'm sorry. We plan to give some money to a selected charity that'll benefit the community. And then that Saturday, the 20th, is our parade and rally. The parade will start at College Green. The parade will start at College Green Park at noon, and on the 100 block of Washington Street. And then the parade will end in a rally at 1 p.m. on the Pentacrest in front of the old Capitol with music and a few rousing speakers. And then this year we're kind of putting together the Iowa City and Cedar Rapids and calling it the Corridor Pride Fest. So, and it's just free to the public. And then we also have the Gay Garden Tour on Sunday morning, June 20th. They're going to meet at Happy Hollow Park between 8:30 and 9 a.m. And they start off at 9 a.m. and they go to a variety of gardens around the Iowa City area. So don't miss out on that as well. And we also have Colors Across the Mississippi, except for I don't really know what that is yet, so I'm not going to announce it too quick.
I'll take that one out.
I think that's an attempt to get, I believe it says here, at least 500 people to carry 1,000 pride flags across the Mississippi River from Davenport to Rock Island. And then anybody who comes will get to take home a flag. And that's from 2 to 4, sponsored by the Quad City area affirming churches. And
And all of these events are on our website at www.queerconnections.org/pride.
Another event I think we skipped was the choir,
Oh yes, the choir.
spelled with a Q.
So the Q, for obvious reasons.
And not all of the members are lesbian or gay. They have a lot of allies who simply love to sing. And so that will be at Rapid City and also here in Iowa City,
And then-
June 5th. And that will again be on the site. These websites for more information and to check the dates, we'll give the websites.
Yep, www.queerconnections.org.
Thank you. Have a happy Pride Festival.